Welcome to the show. I'm Jason Whitlock, and I'll tell you what Kyrie Irving's injury means for his future in Boston, and it's not good. Speak for Yourself starts now. Great show. Start with some Conor McGregor. All right, hello and welcome. Cowherd is off today, but I'm joined today by UFC Tonight analyst Kenny Florian, NBA champion Eddie House, and the founder of The Big Lead, Jason McIntyre. We'll get into Kyrie Irving in a minute, but first, we have to cover the bizarre scene with Conor McGregor and UFC 223. McGregor, who apparently lost his mind during today's media day for UFC 223, McGregor and his entourage attacked a van carrying other UFC fighters, smashing it with several large objects, including a guardrail, and actually leaving one fighter injured. TMZ has a lot of fascinating video on this. Kenny, this is the craziest thing that I can remember seeing. This is before a sporting event. We've seen Mike Tyson bite Holyfield. Right. We've seen the malice at the Palace. Those were a boxing event, a basketball game. Before the event, we've seen bizarre things from Tyson at press conferences, but I don't think I've ever seen this where he's injured other fighters. And so I guess my first question is just like, is Conor McGregor mentally okay? I mean that in all seriousness.
I'm not sure, and here's the thing. He wasn't even involved in this fight card. He wasn't even supposed to fight. So first of all, in order to kind of understand this mess, you kind of have to go back to yesterday. Now, Conor's teammate, Artem Lobov, was approached by Khabib Nurmagomedov. Now, this is a fighter that is fighting on Saturday night. He's in the main event. He's fighting for the 155-pound title, which is Conor's belt. And apparently, he had some words with Artem Lobov, Conor's friend and training partner. Artem was also supposed to fight on Saturday night. So they had some words. Apparently, Khabib might have slapped him in the face. Something happened. Artem was moved to a different hotel. Now, he went and probably told Conor what happened. Conor decided to show up with his boys. He went to the press conference unannounced, and of course they were looking for Khabib Nurmagomedov and his team. Khabib's team was on that van. He was trying to get at Khabib. While he was throwing things at the bus, he cracked one of the windows. It cut Michael Chiesa in the face. We're not sure if he's going to fight on Saturday night. He was supposed to fight Anthony Pettis in a great fight. So Conor, in one fell swoop, has taken out a possible 3 or 4 fights here. It's ridiculous.
Okay, Conor reached the pinnacle of celebrity fighting Floyd Mayweather and made a ton of money.
Right.
And he's kind of fallen off the face of the earth a little bit since then. What is motivating this guy? Is he hostile with Dana White for stripping him of his belt? Is he afraid of Khabib? What's driving him here this kind of crazy?
I don't know. You know, again, he knows how to hype fights, but this is too far. And the problem is like, you know, and I'm probably guilty of this a little bit, of giving Conor the pass and say, hey, it's all right. He's just trying to hype the fight. Well, now he's going way too far. He's injuring other fighters. Rose Namajunas, who's fighting for the title, defending her title on Saturday night, was shaken up by the incident. It's going way too far now. And I don't know what's motivating him. For him to get on a plane from Ireland, he's hanging out in Ireland. I guess he was going to go support his teammate Artem Lobov in this fight, but to go there and pick a fight, and also, what is he doing? What is injuring a van? That's not Khabib's going to do. What is that going to do?
I have a couple more questions before we bring in Eddie and Jason. UFC needs a television deal. They're looking for a television deal, a TV partner, and I'm wondering if these type of annex enhance the brand or will provoke caution. Is this a bridge too far?
This is a black eye for the sport, in my opinion. I don't think this is a good thing. It's one thing to hype a fight, but when you're going towards this kind of negativity and people are getting injured and you're ruining, you know, people's property and cars and vans, it's too much. It's too much. And, you know, what did Jim Carrey said? I wish that everybody could get rich and famous so they could realize that's not the answer. And Conor now, with having $100 million in the bank, it's going too far now. Now he feels like he's invincible. He's gotten away with a lot of other things that, you know, certainly not at this level, but it builds up to that. And when you feel that you're invincible and you're not getting in trouble, you take it too far, and he took it too far.
Jason McIntyre, I'm going to start with you. You're an expert on social media, Twitter, that world. How do you think this plays for Conor McGregor's brand? Is this good for it, or is it bad for him?
Well, I mean, Kenny used black eye. You know, that's the phrase you used, and I actually think this is great. Right now you're seeing the reaction, 50% of the people say Conor's got to go to jail for this. Get the arrest warrant out. And guess what the other 50% of the people are saying? Man, I can't wait to see that guy get in the ring, man. He's crazy. What's he going to do next? This is the kind of thing that bad boys do in sports, right? We've seen it with Floyd Mayweather outside of the ring. We've seen Mike Tyson, as you referenced, outside the ring. These guys put on a show. They get people to watch whatever they're doing. And I know it looks bad right now, and he's being pegged as a crazy person. And yes, there's the TV deal. But everything for me coming off this is, man, I can't wait to see what Conor McGregor's going to do next.
I hear that, but even with the Mike Tyson, I don't think his craziness, his bizarre behavior, I don't think that made him more popular at the box office. I think it made him more infamous, but Tyson had a chance to be a guy to return boxing more to the mainstream where Muhammad Ali had it, and he blew it with the crazy, bizarre behavior. Eddie, I want to ask you, I analogize this to the Malice in the Palace and to Mike Tyson biting Holyfield's ear. This is, Dana White has called it criminal, disgusting, and it makes me sick. Is it a fair analogy to the Malice in the Palace, or is this worse?
I think it's worse. The reason why I say it's worse, because the Malice at the Palace was guys were in the heat of competition. They were playing. He gets hit, being in a place where he's supposed to be protected by a water bottle or whatever it was, the cup of water, and somebody reacted to that, felt like his well-being was threatened, to where this guy, he wasn't even a part of this. You know, these guys are on the bus on their way out, and he's coming throwing whatever that was, a barrier, chairs, breaking windows, cutting guys. It's totally out of bounds to me. I think he was way out of pocket for showing up like that and doing, and the way he did it, he bum rushed. Basically bum rushed the bus. They were, 15 people going after one guy. So, again, I don't like the way that it happened. But this is what Conor McGregor does. Yeah. This is how he tries to hype up fights. But I think he's taking it too far, because you hype up fights. Mike Tyson did it, and so does Floyd Mayweather. They know how to hype fights. Mike Tyson never hurt anybody in a press conference. Floyd Mayweather never hurt anybody in a press conference. This wasn't even this was after the press conference. Guys were on the bus, and somebody ended up getting injured. That's where I think you take it too far.
Yeah, he wasn't involved on the fight card. And the other thing is you get a guy in Conor McGregor who hasn't been in the octagon for over 500 days. So it's not like he's super popular right now. The fans are already very frustrated because he didn't defend his 145-pound belt. He didn't defend his 155-pound belt. So fans are already they've had it with Conor, and now he's doing this.
Listen, I think, and I want to be careful because, I mean, this just happened an hour or two ago, and we're talking about it in the moment. But he has really burnished a brand as a thug. I mean, this is 20 guys, or I don't know, a dozen to 20 guys showing up to have a fight. Yeah. And this is the ultimate thuggish behavior. And, I mean, that word gets tossed around from time to time. And so it's like he's trying to, and I know Floyd Mayweather has his baggage and domestic violence. I don't want to diminish it. But it's almost like Conor's in a competition to be the ultimate bad guy in combat sports of any kind, and this may have...
But he's from the rough streets, I believe, Ireland. Kenny, you can back me up on this. He comes from a very blue-collar background where he almost fought his way out of the ghetto, pretty much, in Ireland. And this is not that out of character for him. Now, there was an incident at Bellator 187. I was informed that Conor went in the ring and roughed it up, and then there was a UFC media day where he was throwing media bottles. So this kind of is on character for him. We just haven't seen it in a while. And, you know, maybe we thought, he made $100 million off Floyd. He's going to clean up his act. I don't think so at all.
What should the UFC do?
Geez, I don't know. Again, we talked about John Jones and his troubles, and this is right at that level. I mean, he's hurting people here. He wasn't even involved in this card. Dana obviously not happy. I don't know. One thing's for sure is some of the fighters on the card, they might sue Conor. Again, you get cut in the face, or if you're not able to fight now, this is not good. And for a guy who's got $100 million in the bank, a great way to lose that $100 million is getting in a court.
What should the UFC do?
I think they should strip him of his title, and
That's been happening.
And they should give him a suspension and some kind of fine.
A year suspension?
I'm not sure. I mean, he hasn't fought in 2 years, correct? And I think really, you know, when some people are kind of fearful of somebody else, they do irrational things. And I think that might have something to do with him fighting Khabib, because he kind of been ducking Khabib for the last couple years now. So I think they should suspend him. I don't know for how long.
Jason, it's a can't live with him, can't live without him situation. He's the biggest star in the UFC.
Without question. I mean, I know this is going to sound bad. Don't come after me for it. But at this point, when you got a big, high-profile incident like this, you got to capitalize on it. I would try to get Conor in the ring in the next few months, see if that's possible. Kenny, I don't know if the UFC is going to want to do that, but is that not the right move from a PR perspective for UFC?
There's an event planned for Russia. Obviously, Khabib Nurmagomedov, if he wins, that would be the fight to make, him versus Conor. You could build up to this Rocky IV kind of event. It's ridiculous. We already have the B-roll to play leading up to the fight.
Yeah.
This is the hype. But again, it's like, well, now you're basically saying, well, Conor, that's okay to do that. That's fine. But he's the biggest name in the sport. What do you do?
They need him right now.
I think Dana has boxed himself into a corner with his statements. Criminal, disgusting, and it makes me sick. So if he is to fight Khabib, I don't think it'll be in the next calendar year. I think it's going to have to be after. Criminal, disgusting, and makes me sick. He's going to be suspended for a year. Khabib may happen a year from now, but not anytime soon.
Hey guys, Jason McIntyre here. Before the show moves along, I wanted to tell you that support for the Speak for Yourself podcast comes from our friends at Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. They understand that home plays a big role in your life and family. That's why they created Rocket Mortgage. Rocket Mortgage gives you the confidence you need when it comes to buying a home or refinancing your existing home loan. It's simple, allowing you to fully understand all the details and be confident you're getting the right mortgage for you. Whether you're looking to buy your first home or your 10th, with Rocket Mortgage you get a transparent online process that gives you the confidence to make an informed decision. It's convenient. Our trusted partners allow you to share your financial information with Rocket Mortgage at the touch of a button. And in addition to getting a real mortgage approval in minutes, you can even adjust the rate and length of your loan in real time to make sure you're getting the right solution for you. Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. Apply simply, understand fully, mortgage confidently. To get started, go to rocketmortgage.com/speak. Equal housing lender, licensed in all 50 states. NMLSconsumeraccess.org, number 3030.
All right, welcome back. Jason McIntyre and Eddie House are back, and we're joined now by longtime NBA vet Odin Polynice. Let's move to Boston, where the Celtics just announced that Kyrie Irving is out for the rest of the season, including the playoffs, after undergoing surgery to remove a tension wire in his knee a few weeks ago. The team initially expected Kyrie to be back in time for the playoffs, but he will now undergo another procedure to remove 2 screws from his knee, and it will take 4 to 5 months to recover. This is a bad sign. They had Isaiah Thomas, and injuries wrecked him. Gordon Hayward comes, injuries wrecked him. Kyrie Irving, this has knee problems now, had health issues at Duke. I am now of the opinion, Kyrie Irving's a bit fragile. He may not have the body to reach the greatness of his talent. I'm of the opinion, I don't think things are going to work out. This split from LeBron and moving to Boston, I don't think it's going to work out for Kyrie Irving. Eddie, what's your reaction to this news?
Well, the rest of the season is pretty much a wrap for them. You know, started off with Gordon Hayward, his injury. Kyrie going down. Now, I don't think they could find that punch. You know, everybody was thinking maybe Gordon Hayward's going to come back, but Brad Stevens nixed that. Now with Kyrie down, I mean, who's that dynamic scorer? Who the guy do you go to? Who's
Boston's
the closer?
dead.
Yeah, Boston's hurt for the rest of the season. But as far as Kyrie in Boston, I don't think that's going to be a problem. I think he'll heal up.
He's not fragile.
I mean, he's been hurt. It's been a lot of people that's been hurt. But, I mean, this one right here was due to the injury he had before and the screws getting infected. So that has nothing to do with him being fragile. He didn't re-injure something that somebody put inside of his body. It started going wrong. So more information on how does that go wrong. 4 to 5 months on recovery, that's a long period of time. So it's a little serious to me.
Boston is done, like you said. I see them get knocked out in the first round. They just don't have enough firepower. And we kind of saw that after Hayward got hurt. But now the reason this is bad is because they expected him to come back. So their mindset was like, well, we'll get him for the playoffs. And now we see that he's not going to be back for the playoffs. And those guys, I mean, Rozier's done a nice job subbing in for him, but I just don't see him going
What do you think
past the
about
first.
Kyrie's future?
Kyrie's future is in limbo right now because of this injury. And I kind of have to agree with you a little bit. I think there is some fragileness to him because we've been seeing this over the years. And this is not the first time. So,
And at Duke.
Exactly. And so I do see, the more it happens, the more I'm going to say, hey, you have a fragile body.
McIntyre, hold on. Tell me something
His body's
sexier.
rejecting something for a reason.
Tell me something sexier than Boston's done. I think we all know that.
You guys big karma believers? You remember how you've been bagging on how Danny Ainge treated Isaiah Thomas? Oh, look what's happening to Boston.
Is that what it is?
We lose Gordon Hayward on the first night, and now we lose Kyrie on the cusp of the playoffs. And let me take it a step further. Do you know how Kyrie left Cleveland? He reportedly told the Cavs, if you don't trade me, I'm gonna pretend like I need surgery and I'm gonna just sit out the whole season. Oh. Well, now he needs surgery and he's out. So
it was karma himself.
Both Kyrie and the Celtics. So it's a nice little marriage. I actually think this is a blessing in disguise for the young Boston players. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, 20 and 21 years old. They're going to be leading this team in the playoffs. That is a great first step for next year when they add Hayward and Kyrie healthy. I think they'll go to the finals next year.
I like the comment you just said.
Thank you.
Next year.
For next year.
I was just getting ready to hit on that. That's going to give them some invaluable playoff experience. Even though if they lose in the first round, just to be in the playoffs and see the level is different. It's not the same as regular season. And Jason Tatum's going to be a hell of a player when he gets off. And so is Jaylen Brown right now, is emerging as one of these really big-time players.
Let me just I want to add something, just a little perspective in terms of, it's going to be great for Boston. These young guys are going to get experience. Kyrie Irving has 1 year left on his contract. Yes. And so now everything goes into next year, and what is his future in Boston? Did this Boston thing work? Again, they'll have Gordon Hayward back next year, and so maybe they'll do something together. But everything now boils down to one season for Kyrie Irving in Boston. The four-leaf clover organization seems to have run out of luck.
Hey, watch what you're saying.
He's going to be all right.
I should have worn my ring, man.
You know what? Kyrie's going to be all right because he's going to be a free agent, And so 9 times out of 10 players tend to some way, somehow figure out a way to have their best season right around free agency.
How about this one, Jason? Okay, if Kyrie Irving doesn't want to get on board and sign a long-term deal with Boston, guess what?
There's going to be a line.
Giannis may be unhappy in Milwaukee. Anthony Davis in New Orleans. They're not going anywhere. We will trade Kyrie, whatever you want. Give us a superstar. I mean, superstars are holding
people
teams
lined up for him.
Kawhi Leonard in San Antonio. We don't know what's going to happen here in the next month. He might just say, "Get me out of here."
All right, welcome back to the show. Jason McIntyre is back with us. We're now joined by Fox NFL analyst Tony Gonzalez and longtime NFL head coach Eric Mangini. All right, let's move to Baltimore. A day after the Ravens announced they're signing Robert Griffin III to be a backup quarterback, and on the very day, Colin Kaepernick's lawyers deposed Ravens general manager Ozzie Newsome and head coach John Harbaugh in Cap's NFL collusion case. The Kaepernick martyr narrative seemingly will not go away. Writing for ESPN's The Undefeated, Jason Reed opined today that RG3 signing by the Ravens is proof the NFL is forever done with Kaepernick. At this point, the NFL is trolling us all, Reed whined. That's the only way to explain the fact that Robert Griffin III has returned to the league while Colin Kaepernick is still banging on the door. The NFL might as well hang a sign at its New York offices that reads, "Kaepernick is never getting back in." Let me offer a different explanation from trolling. Cap can't get a job because the NFL is a TV show with a defined script. Yes, the NFL is a television show, no different from The Walking Dead, The Sopranos, Empire, or Breaking Bad. They play the games to draw television viewers and entice advertisers. That is the point of modern-day football, TV ratings. Cap isn't the first, last, or even the most high-profile actor kicked off a TV show for conduct detrimental to ratings. Do you remember Charlie Sheen in 2.5 Men? Sheen was an enormous movie star, playing major roles in blockbuster movies such as Platoon, Wall Street, Major League. He moved to the small screen and emerged as the star of CBS's ratings juggernaut, 2.5 Men. Sheen was paid nearly $2 million per episode for his role. He then decided to start using his platform to speak out against the show's creator, Chuck Lorre, and Warner Brothers fired him. The major TV networks have never signed Sheen to work again. He got demoted to the minor leagues, cable TV. This is what happens in television when you decide to go rogue and off script. You get bounced. Kaepernick's protest was not and is not part of football's script. Legendary former commissioner Pete Rozelle packaged the league as uber patriotic and respectful of American traditions. That's one of the main reasons football surpassed baseball as America's pastime. The entire narrative that Kaepernick has a right to play in the NFL because he's talented is absurd. Football people have preached for years, without objection, that playing in the NFL is not a privilege, is not a right, it's a privilege.
To be involved in the National Football League is an honor and a privilege. It's not a right. We should respect it as such.
It's a beautiful game that we play. It's a privilege to play a game.
To play in the NFL is an honor, a privilege, not simply a right.
All sorts of NFL players forfeit that right to play in the NFL with their actions. When it's Ray Rice or Greg Hardy or some drug abuser, hardly anyone objects. I get it. Rice and Hardy took actions that are universally and justifiably seen as reprehensible. But what it establishes is a precedent that you don't always have the right to participate in the NFL's TV show. Kaepernick foolishly undermined his privilege. I wish everyone would quit whining about it. His football plight is more Charlie Sheen than Muhammad Ali. No way in hell I'm wrong. Tony Gonzalez, Eric Mangini, Jason McIntyre. I'm so sick of people whining about Kaepernick. It's a privilege, not a right. He's not Muhammad Ali.
I think that comparing him to Charlie Sheen isn't fair either. Charlie Sheen's situation, there were some substance abuse issues there.
That's not why he got fired.
It was self-destructive behavior. Cap took a stand for something that he believed in, and it went to places that I'm sure even he didn't expect. Now, what I'll say about privilege versus right, it comes down to talent. And does Cap have enough talent to play in the NFL? Yes. Does he have enough talent at this point where teams say it offsets the distraction that comes with signing him? To me, that's more the issue right now, and that's what teams are looking at. I think if Antonio Brown took that same stand, he'd have no problem still playing wide receiver this year and next year and last year. It's just the cost-benefit analysis.
McIntyre?
See, I like what Eric said, but I keep coming back to the TV examples that you used. I think of those shows, Sopranos. What made that popular? Tony Soprano was very polarizing, right? Your favorite show, The Wire. Stringer Bell was very polarizing. Hold on. Here, you know where I'm going. Colin Kaepernick, by your measure, is extremely polarizing. People would love and hate him. Wouldn't the NFL, in your example, want Colin Kaepernick for his polarizing nature?
David Chase wrote The Sopranos.
Yes.
And in the script, he said, I want Tony Soprano, James Gandolfini, to be polarizing.
Right.
When Pete Rozelle, Roger Goodell, when they write the script for the NFL, they don't say, hey, Tony Gonzalez, I want you to be polarizing. They don't do that. They want you to be the opposite. They want you to be like everybody wants to be around you. They want it to be an expression of all the positive American ideals. They want it to be uber patriotic. They don't want polarizing. That doesn't work for them.
What about Tom Brady? Is he not polarizing? What about Odell Beckham? I mean, on and on down the list. I just think, I would agree mostly with Eric on why he's not in the league. He's not going to want to hold a clipboard and be a backup or a third stringer and make $1 million a year like RG3. That's just not going to work for him. But I think the Charlie Sheen stuff is harsh. That is really critical.
You know what? When you're talking about that, the rap music, if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense, okay? And if you're affecting my bottom line, anybody who's running a business, a corporation is going to say, get out of here. You're talking about acting. That's helping the bottom line. It's creating enjoyability when you watch a show like that, like The Sopranos. You want to see that. But in the NFL, that has no place. It's not going to work. And if people are out there writing letters and people are saying we're not going to show up to your sporting event, guess what the owners are going to do? They're going to say, okay, I'll see you later. And I doubt that even if you have Greg Hardy, I believe, could be when he came back, he still was a very, very good defensive end. And I hear what you're saying there, and I've said that too. Talent trumps morals. I believe that too. But there's certain things that the American public or ownership is not going to put up with. I don't care if you're getting 15, 20 sacks like Greg Hardy probably could. He's still not going to get an opportunity to get back in the league. I don't see it happening.
The most compelling thing is winning. And if that person helps you win, they're going to be there. They're going to be in the league. They're going to be on a team. Think about the Raiders for years and years with the outlaw team. We're known for not being against the norm, being against what the league stood for, and people loved the Raiders. People either loved them or they loved to hate the Raiders, and that was compelling too. There's a place for all different people, but at the end of the day, it's does that ability offset the distraction that comes with the player?
Look, my point, Jason, is it's a television show about great competition. And I think a lot of times people lose sight of the entire fact that that's what people are tuning in to see great competition. And so once anything distracts from talking about the great competition, that's when people are like, this ain't good for football. This isn't good for our television show. And so when the conversation is moved away from great competition, you've made yourself vulnerable, and you better damn well be Lawrence Taylor, Tom Brady, and Peyton Manning rolled into one, and Kaepernick's not that.
And that's what you said, Coach. I mean, he's not good enough to be this type of distraction. I mean, he's not even a starter. The coach, as you've been a head coach, you don't want any type of distraction going on in that locker room for any type of reason. It's enough pressure as it is to go out there and just win a football game on any given Sunday. To deal with someone like Colin Kaepernick, I'm sorry, I don't think he will never play in the NFL again.
And when you look at the reaction that Baltimore had with just the idea of bringing him in and how much of a storm that raised, it's difficult. It's difficult to say we're going to bring him in as a backup or we're going to bring him in to compete, because all you're going to do every single day is deal with that issue as opposed to push the team forward in the direction you want to go.
Look, RG3 just got signed by the Baltimore Ravens. They announced that yesterday. They're being deposed today about Kaepernick. And to me, RG3, what he's done, he's humbled himself. He signed a one-year deal for virtually no money. He's all in on football. Colin Kaepernick, I don't know if we have this, we may not, but he put out an Instagram post about Eric Reid and basically how we need to watch Eric Reid's free agency and see how the NFL deals with that, because Eric Reid is fighting against systematic oppression. And I was like, this dude does not want to be in the NFL.
Thank you.
Because again, he's that's what I'm talking about. We're not talking about great competition. Again, we're talking about Eric Reid, systematic oppression. And again, there's a place for that. And if you want to do that, you have to be willing to live with the repercussions of that. If you want to be off the TV script, you're going to live Kaepernick's life. If you want to get back on the TV script like RG3 has done, you sit out a year and you get yourself back in.
Without question, this is much better, RG3 as a role model, than Johnny Manziel was last week, which you pushed. But I do want to say this about RG3. He was humbled. Okay, this guy was injured. He fought with his coaches. He got coaches fired. He got divorced from his wife. He'd been out of football for a year. He's now getting his life back together, which is paramount to becoming a good quarterback. And he's got a potentially good spot in Baltimore. Listen, we've seen Joe Flacco the last couple of years. He has not been very good. Ozzie Newsome is a GM on his way out. RG3 could thrive in Baltimore. I don't know. I mean, it seems possible. He's only 28, whereas Kaepernick is 30. He's going to be 31 in November. And as you said, he doesn't seem to love football and maybe need football. Remember, RG3, number 2 overall pick, he only got that first contract. Colin Kaepernick's made up significantly, I believe, $20 more million than RG3 in his career. So Kaepernick may not need it, may want to do the stuff on the side, and RG3 needs football, needs money.
Yeah, I like RG3. I like him going back to the Baltimore. I like him just getting back in the NFL because he's only 28. He still has a bright future as far as I'm concerned, so I'm happy for him. And he's put it out there. He has let everybody know he's trying to get back into the NFL. He's saying all the right things, getting back to Colin Kaepernick. Tell me right now he could get an interview on 60 Minutes I mean, this guy is so polarizing. Why don't you get out in front of somebody and say what is in your plans? You want to play in the NFL? Do an interview.
But he doesn't.
He doesn't. He doesn't do anything.
Play.
That's what I'm saying. I agree with what you're saying, Jason. Yeah. He does not want to get back in the NFL. And if he does, he is actually, it's stupid the way he's going about it. He needs to have better planning if he wants to get back in the NFL.
If Aaron Rodgers put out that tweet, if Antonio Brown put out that tweet, if Tom Brady put out that tweet, if Ezekiel Elliott put out that tweet, they're still playing football this year. They're still contributing to their team. They're still getting paid what they're getting paid. It just comes down to cost benefit. And in Colin's position right now, if he does want to get in, he's probably going to have to take a much different stance. But even if he takes a different stance, I don't know if that's going to change anything for the first team that's willing to bring him in. And with a guy like RG3, all he is, he's a lottery ticket. That's it. You have a 90-man roster. You pay him $1 million, which is insignificant in a cap that's $178 million. If he hits, he hits. If he doesn't,
Eric,
nobody cares.
I agree with that point, but I was a little bit surprised. John Harbaugh, they brought him in to be the backup, to be the number 2 guy. So he's not just a camp arm trying to earn his way onto the team. Harbaugh kind of indicated he's the backup quarterback. And again, I think if that's all it ever amounts to is RG3 resuscitating his career so he can be a backup quarterback, I think that's a good thing.
No, I think it's a great thing, too. And I think the situation with Johnny Manziel, where he's going to the spring league, he's going to workouts, he's trying to show that he's changed, even though he's gotten in his own way the last few days, to me, that's a good thing, too. And you take a chance on that guy because it doesn't really cost you anything. And if it hits, it hits big.
All right, welcome back. Eddie House, Odin Polynice, and Jason McIntyre back. Let's move to Lonzo Ball, whose rookie year might be coming to an early end, with the Lakers unsure that Lonzo will play again after suffering a bruised knee last week against the Mavericks. Despite all the hype from LeVar, Lonzo has had a very up-and-down year, ranking just 33rd among rookies in shooting percentage, 12th in points, while he's been 2nd in assists and 4th in rebounds. I think he's played 52 games this year. Okay. It's an 82-game season. He's 19, 20 years old. He's first year out. He misses 30 games. He shoots about like I do from 3. I just don't see it. I don't see. Magic started the year off. We're going to put his number up in the rafters. LeVar saying he's better than Jason Kidd and Magic Johnson, and Bob Cousy rolled into one. Cowherd started the year off with the Lonzo meter. Lonzo's bringing LeBron to L.A. Lonzo's overhyped and overrated and is going to be a nice NBA role player, not a superstar.
It's not too many superstars. We talked about this yesterday. It's not too many superstars.
Not a star.
I wouldn't go that far yet. Now, I'm going to answer the question, was this season a disappointment? I'm going to say yes and no. Reason why I'm going to say no is this. No, I'm going to give you
ride the fence.
No, but hey, you can say I'm ride the fence, but I'm going to give you some actual factuals. So get your ears ready to listen. So if you're 2nd in assists, he came into the league, number 1, as a guy who is a facilitator that's going to make everybody around him better. He's 2nd in assists.
52 games.
Yeah, in 52 games. And I'm going to get to the other point of that. Oscar Robertson, Magic Johnson, and Ben Simmons, the only other 3 guys that average 10, 7, and 7, basically. That's not a disappointment. I'm taking that for my rookie every time. Now, where the disappointment comes into play is 36% from the field, 45% from the free throw line. But those things can be fixed.
Yes.
That can be fixed. So that's the disappointment part. And only playing in 52 games and in only 45 fourth quarters, that's a disappointment to me. But these other numbers, that doesn't spell disappointment.
You keep talking. It can be fixed.
It can be
fixed. This is the first time in the history of basketball. We saw George Gervin make history with the finger roll. Now we have the fingers crossed from Lonzo. And you think that can be fixed. Yeah. The finger cross. Shoot and cross your fingers. That's going to get fixed.
A guy that they always compare him to, right, is Jason Kidd, right? They say, he looks like it might be Jay. I compare him to Jason Kidd as being able to pass and see the pass before it happens, but not that he doesn't have that motor. That's the other disappointing part. But Jason Kidd came into it, they called him acing because he didn't have a J. Yes. Did he get his jumper together?
It wasn't a hope and a
His mechanics
prayer.
were way better than Lonzo. Come on now. Unless he has your shooting form, it's pretty much going to stay the same. This across the body motion
it right before
is
he got
horrible. But Jason Kidd, that's a good comparison. Jason Kidd, again, like I said, had the right mechanics. The reason why I'm disappointed with him is the fact that he was overhyped. All this stuff, like you said, Magic, proclaimed the next great guy. His dad, who shall remain nameless still, he's better than everybody. I'll take, him over Steph Curry right now. Come on, stop it. He has some nice numbers, but the one thing I'm most concerned about is the injuries. Throughout this whole season, there's been all these low negatives. You're 19 years old. What's going on with these young kids?
Was Dad just
They
training?
can't
Did you see
hold
their
up
backyard
any-
workouts?
They just can't hold up anymore.
You see the backyard
He's murdered. He got his shot. He's shooting his shot right now.
Every
He's not
day,
playing, man.
beat down.
Killing me.
First of all, let me go through the last couple number 2 picks in the draft, okay? No, Lonzo has not been a disappointment. Last year, Brandon Ingram, number 2 pick. How's he doing? He's doing all right. I think he's done well. D'Angelo Russell, he's been traded already, okay? Number 2 pick before that, Jabari Parker. How's he doing? Injured, probably not going to get a next deal. How about before that, Victor Oladipo, his 3rd team in 5 years. It took Victor Oladipo 5 years to go from being the number 2 pick to being an all-NBA player. It's going to take some time. We've just got to let it marinate. I'm working on my patience in 2018. That's my number one.
But my argument with you with that would be that Oladipo is very athletic, and again, his mechanics translate to where he can perform.
Lonzo Ball,
and that's the problem.
He's blocking some shots. He's
None of
making
those
steals.
guys were hyped.
Let me ask you this. Would you rather have took Markelle Fultz?
No.
Okay, then.
Yeah.
It was
No,
one of
that
it was
doesn't
one of them.
mean-
It was one of them
That
two.
doesn't mean Lonzo lived up to the hype.
I mean, 10-7
I would have rather taken
taken
Donovan Mitchell. I would have rather taken Donovan
wait,
Mitchell.
hold on.
You wouldn't
Wait
have
up.
took Donovan
You
Mitchell.
know what
at
I
the
would have
beginning of the
rather?
year.
I
Now,
just said
You
rather.
know what's setting up here, right? Okay, they're going to get LeBron and Paul George. The Lakers are going to be
Oh,
great, and you're
Jesus.
going to say, "Well, Lonzo's not great. He's got great team."
Are y'all
so
still on
Lonzo
this
officially
LeBron
cannot win. It's a,
LA
it's over.
thing?
It's a wrap.
We got it.
Oh,
The 76ers,
My
who
God.
beat the Pistons last night, notching their 12th straight win and moving into a tie with LeBron and the Cavaliers for 3rd in the East. Philly might end up playing LeBron in the playoffs this year, but they're also rumored to be in the running to sign him this offseason. And at least one NBA star, CJ McCollum, thinks it's a real possibility.
He's always calculated about his decision-making process, going back to, his youth. Ben is his young guy. Ben's a member of Clutch Sports, so that also could play a factor. Philly's in the Eastern Conference. LeBron has been fond of the Eastern Conference throughout his career on what seems to be his easy pass to the finals. I think it's a bigger possibility than people think.
All right, after watching LeBron take apart the Toronto Raptors the other night, I'm done doubting LeBron James in the Eastern Conference. I just won't do it anymore. And so that leads me to the opinion that the Philadelphia 76ers have a far better chance of signing LeBron James this offseason than beating LeBron James in this postseason. No matter how Philly's playing nice, but I'm just not going to doubt LeBron James. Better chance of him going to Philadelphia than losing to Philadelphia.
I totally agree with you. There's no chance that Philly is going to beat them. And I think it's setting up for them to meet in the conference finals possibly. You think LeBron's going to lose in the conference finals to Philadelphia? There's no possible way that he's going to do that. You've seen how he's been playing. He's on a mission. He's looking to prove everybody wrong. People been doubting him. You say you won't doubt him no more. I'm not doubting him. He's playing at another level. He's playing at the highest level I've ever seen somebody play with my own eyes and one of my former teammates. This guy is unbelievable right now. And I don't think he'll sign with him either. That's a bit of a stretch. I'm going to tell you why. He would get more credit if he stays with Cleveland. Look, when he went to Miami, what happened? They was like, oh, you had to go join up with them. The same thing will happen with him now. They'll say, oh, you had to go join them young boys because you're getting a little older, a little longer in the tooth. No, he'll get more credit if he stays in Cleveland. I still think he'll
get
run
more
through the
titles in Philadelphia.
I think he's actually more likely to lose to the Sixers in the Eastern Conference Finals. Think about this for a second, Eddie. When they take the floor, Cavs and 76ers, tell me the 3 best players in the series. Sixers got 2 of them.
I got LeBron.
That's right. No, you got LeBron one. But then you got
one.
Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons. And as Eddie said, that was one of the best points you've ever made on the show, Eddie. He don't go to teams that are on the up and up, okay? The Houston Rockets, he's not going there, okay? They're a 60-win team. He went back to Cleveland, which was a dumpster fire. He went to Miami, which was like a 37-win team. Took him to the title. LeBron doesn't ride anybody's coattails. He's a leader. That's why he's going to the Lakers.
He's staying in Cleveland, man. I'm telling you. He's definitely not coming to the Lakers. CJ made a great point. He's not coming to the Wild Wild West. I'll tell you that right now, because he'll end up being 7th,
What
8th.
about Philadelphia?
Philadelphia, in regards to the question that was posed, Philadelphia has a better chance of beating the Cavaliers than him signing with them. He's not signing with them either because he and Ben Simmons play the same position. So you're going to trade him for Ben Simmons, and so that takes him out of the equation right there.
No, I think and Ben Simmons, they're both very similar type players. I don't think Ben Simmons can play as good off the ball as LeBron can play off the ball. So they're both kind of dominant, you know what I mean? Dominant basketball.
By the way, Ben Simmons' rookie numbers. Whitlock,
similar type players.
15, 8, and 8. Magic Johnson was 18, 7, and 7. Ben Simmons is having a Magic Johnson type rookie season. That's how good he's been. Him against LeBron in the Eastern Conference Finals, that's a show.
Y'all just made the greatest point. Ben Simmons and LeBron. And how does that even make sense? Why is this? I don't even understand how, once I hear that and really think about it, marinate on it, I don't even know how we got to the discussion, because it's been pervasive that there's a chance of LeBron going to Philadelphia. Everybody in the sports media has been talking about that. And now, Eddie, you just made me go, or Older, it's not even a possibility.
No, not at all. If you think about
similar.
it, watch how Ben Simmons plays, right? Have you ever seen him just get somebody kick the ball to him catch and shoot? No, he's always coming off the pick and roll. You could game plan for that. You could push up on the screen and go under it.
Not to cut you off, last night he had a wide open layup. He passed it out to the three-pointer.
That was great.
He's a
By the way,
great
you put
vision.
Markelle Fultz, Ben Simmons, and LeBron on the floor, that's 0 three-point shooting rate. You can't do that in the modern NBA. It just can't happen.
I wouldn't say 0, but it is.
None.
All right, welcome back. Jason McIntyre is back for last call. Let's start at Augusta National, where Tiger Woods shot a 1-over in his first round at the Masters in 3 years. McIntyre, after we saw Tiger today, are you confident in him this weekend?
Yeah, I'm confident he's going to miss the cut, Jason.
No.
I got a bad feeling about this. Honestly, listen, the pressure, the spotlight, this is a guy who has not made the cut at a major in seemingly forever. I think I was like a toddler maybe when that happened. Like, Jason, I've seen nothing from Tiger today that inspires confidence. 2 weeks ago, yes, but today, you see anything?
Yeah, I saw quite a bit. I mean, look, the lead, he's only 4 or 5 strokes off the lead right now. He's certainly...
Dude, he was the betting favorite coming in.
I get it, but again, it's the first round of the Masters. He's 1 over. The course is playing hard. He'll be perfect. He's perfectly fine right now in terms of having a chance to make the cut and even still be competitive and have a chance to win.
I've already teed up the choking emoji that I'm going to text you when Tiger misses the cut.
The main reason you're wrong is, seriously, he parred all 4 of the par 5s. That will not happen again tomorrow. That will not happen on Friday. He will score on the par 5s, and he'll be just fine. If he had just made 2 birdies on it, he'd be perfectly fine. We talk about him being 1 under. He was fine. He went into the water, I think, on 12. That was a big error. Other than that, it's not, you're acting like he did what Sergio Garcia did.
He did not have a
Sergio went into the water 5 times on the same hole. He went full 10
Are
cup.
you going to be wearing red tomorrow in honor of Tiger?
No, I'll wait till Sunday to wear red. I'll wait till Sunday.
Might be too
All right.
late.
To baseball, where Angels rookie Shohei Ohtani homered for the 2nd straight game yesterday. The two-way phenom is now hitting .429 and also won his first start as a pitcher on Sunday. McIntyre, do you think Ohtani is headed to Cooperstown?
Does he need tires or something? Is that the Cooperstown Tire Store?
Oh.
Come on, Hall of Fame after 1 week of baseball, 1 week in the majors? Is that what we're doing?
Well, we're not going that far, but as someone who was skeptical of him pitching and hitting, I mean, he's putting a clown suit on me, and there was a lot of guys like, hey, look, he hasn't played in the major leagues. This is the best baseball in the world. That's fine what he did in his country and another country, but let's see him do it over here in the major league. So far, this kid looks like he can really play.
He's a better story right now than the Dodgers. He's must-see TV for me. And listen, late at night, Anaheim Angels, they're looking good. I like what I've seen so far.
He's a better story than Giancarlo Stanton right now. I'll give you that.
Let's not talk about my Yankees, okay?
But, yeah, and he may turn out to be the best story in baseball. Again, we haven't seen this since Babe Ruth.
Yeah.
You and I weren't around. I've eaten a lot of Babe Ruths, but we were not around to see Babe Ruth play. All right, we're off tomorrow. Cowherd will be back on Monday.
Will he?
Thanks for watching.